Hello, it's Friend Within here to break down my new tune, All You Need, which is out now on A-Trak Friends. It's kind of a throwback to Fidget House days, if you know what Fidget House is. And it's kind of the stuff that I was making 20 years ago that really sort of kicked me off as a producer. And I heard one of my old tracks called Cookie not that long ago and thought, I want to make another tune like that. And this is the result. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into Ableton, shall we? Here we go. Here's lovely Ableton Live. Here is the whole project. Drums at the top. Noisy bits. Here's the bass. It's mainly just a bass. That's the main sort of hook in the track. Little vocal here. Other little synthy bits. A riser. So there's not loads of stuff in here really. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. So 12 plus drums. 13 tracks of stuff going on. Let's get in there, shall we? Start with the drums. Let's give it a little blast, the whole thing, shall we?
Rhythm's all you need.
So you can hear there, you mainly just get beats and that sort of wobbly, synthy bass thing. And they're the main elements of the track in it, little vocal. And the thing with Fidget House is the beats are quite sort of, especially the claps down here, they're very loose. They're not like on the one. If we look at the clap straight away, I mean, you can see here's the 1, here's the 2, like so that's a little bit before, and there's like two claps here, which are like all over the place to just make it nice and loose. And it's kind of, I think it sort of comes from a sort of hip hop style. Let's get into the kick though, shall we? 3 layers on the kick. Your main body. Little tiny thing on the top, and another one even tinier on the top, but just on its own. Doesn't quite punch through, does it? Those little attacks really make it pop out. I would have processed the kick elsewhere and then bounced it, and I haven't got the processed bit, but you can see here it's all nice and flat. There's no like big peaks going on. It's like a solid level the whole way and then just tapers off. And I would have done that just through compression, probably like L2. There you go, nice solid kick. Offbeat hi-hat. This is just on the left side, and then the one below it will be doing the right. Give it a nice little stereo thing. And the processing on this left hat, yeah, it's in this little, I'm not sure what they call these, little sample sort of machines in Ableton. You mess around with stuff, it's got a little FM going on, so without it, changes it a bit, doesn't it? So the little modes going on here as well, like stretch is fun. It's worth digging into them if you haven't really looked at those before. There's probably like 4 or 5 of these different machines, I think. A bit of EQ, roll off the bottom end and a bit of top. Tiny little reverb on it. Little RC20. You can barely hear that. Don't know why I did that. I like to use a little clipper on each channel sometimes to just take the peaks off. So this is a oscilloscope as well, which is just showing me the waveform of the hi-hat. So you can see it's kind of moving around a bit as well. If I turn the clipper off, just get a little bit of an extra peak, so I thought I'll just chop that off. Get rid of it, don't need it. And the one on the right, yeah, similar thing here really. Little clipper. That's taken off quite a bit really, that one. 3 or 4 dB. After this, we got another thing called Tish. It's a little open hi-hat thing. And we got a little shaker over here. I just bring that in as the tune progresses. Here's all the drums. Yeah, claps are nice and loose. And if you listen to the claps, if you put them like on the beats, and that one's already there, really. And if I sort of undo it, they'll go back to normal. Just a tiny bit more flavour. And that's a big part of the Fidget House sound, I think, those claps. And these are, they're all like Oliver samples. You gotta get on Oliver if you don't know his stuff. Shaker loop, that's Vengeance one. Is that one Oliver? Yeah, that's an Oliver one. What about in here? This is, yeah, another Oliver. So there's like, look, another one down here as well. What's this? Little percussive thing. There's another Oliver one. So that'll be in tune with the tune. So that was in G, the original sample. And then this tune is in A minor. I think the bass notes are A minor, even though they do wobble quite a lot, the bass notes, so it does move around a bit. But yeah, move that up 2 semitones from G to A. Keep it in tune if you can. We've got some dums. They just kind of syncopated against the kick drum. Just adds to the groove. That's all your drums, really. And look, just on this, we just got a clipper, really. So this is it with the clipper on. If I make this bigger, get the whole. This is the oscilloscope, just, yeah, basically looking at what's coming out of the clipper. So turn the clipper off, you'll see some peaks appearing, which are fine. No, peaks are good, they make things interesting, but just want to trim them off a bit, and it doesn't really make much difference to the sound. That's usually where I stop the clipper at, is when it starts to sound different. Back it off a little bit. I'm not really using the clipper to add flavour to the sound, just sort of a mix level to get it a bit flatter. I think that's all your drums. What are these little processed shaker things? I think they're more at the start of the track, actually. Little crispy loops. There's not even any processing on these at all. Nothing there. I probably would have processed them elsewhere and then bounced them down. So they might have had a little bit of processing, but I can't remember what I did. Dink, what's this? Track 21. Kind of an offbeat, percussive-y synth thing. It just comes into the tune as it progresses, just to keep the energy going. You'll hear it come in. And it only happens like once in the tune. Tiny bit of EQ on it. Barely anything. You can see that I don't do a hell of a lot of processing on stuff. I did a breakdown of my track called Chain, and the big thing I said in there is find the right sound and put it in the right place, rather than trying to shoehorn things in with EQ and all kinds of stuff like that. If it sounds right, put it in there, or find the right sound to begin with. You know, this dink, it does sort of cut through the mix, doesn't it? Because it's in the right frequency. You know, if I'd had it an octave lower, it would have probably gone missing, or an octave higher, it would have again gone missing, or just sounded like a hi-hat or something. I mean, let's try. I put it an octave lower, and I've also tuned it to the key of the track. It kind of works. UFO, this is just a little thing that happens like on the drop.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need. Hear it.
Yeah, this is bounce. I think it was a synth. Can't remember what I did. There's a little gate on it. If I take it off, it's more of like a low crackly rumble. So this is just catching the louder peaks. And this is adding a bit of saturation, but just on the attack. So I made like this envelope that increases the drive and the dynamics. If you have a listen, this is it on, and I'll turn it off. It's a good little tip that if you just want a bit more bite at the start, just, yeah, a little hit of saturation and drive. I think this pan was on. I turned it off earlier. This pan definitely should have been on. This makes it go left to right. Right, now we're at the bass. This sort of wobbly bass thing. This is how it starts. Just a low sort of subby thing. And yeah, it builds up and builds up throughout the tune. I mean, there's like 20 different automation lanes going on here. But yeah, I always wanted it to like build up during the breakdowns, but then drop in back to that sort of subby level. Yeah, that was the idea of the track. So you go crazy in the breakdown and the build up, but then the drop is just kind of like you just groove into it. I wanted it to be that kind of track. So what we're looking at here, Serum. Just would have been, yeah, initialized patch. There's two oscillators here. One is oscillator A, it's just a square, and B is a square but slightly thinner. I mean, that's not doing anything right now. That kind of comes in later. Let's see what's going on here. If we loop it, it's mainly all about this pitch bend. So every note is all bendy and nice. We got any effects in here? So a little bit of EQ inside Serum. Oh no, that's the bus. Multiband compression. That's a bit like OTT really inside Serum. Off. On. Makes it a bit more fizzy. That's just taking away a bit of bottom end. I'm not sure if that's automated somewhere. So there's not loads going on in the synth, you know, at that point. But it's all about the automation. Let me make this a bit smaller. So as we go through what's going on. Instrument rack filter 2. Where's this? Where that be? Was it in here? That one? Yeah. Yeah, that's just the filter inside Serum. Sounds like it. A filter somewhere. What else we got? Resonance. You can see what they are over here. So yeah, so oscillator 2, oscillator B is coming in here. Just more like a octave higher. So it's not off, starts to come in slowly there. This one, that's a bit of that's a reverb inside of Serum. Yeah, that's it. This mainly keeps building. Oh, this CC thing is good for like a pitch bend. I know there's pitch bend going on inside Serum, but it does get the whole synth does increase in pitch as well. Where's that one? So pitch bend here. And usually in Ableton you have to do pitch bends inside the clip. Like in envelopes and then here, and if all envelopes find MIDI control pitch and do it in there, and then you can't really see it on the timeline. But this little, it's a little Ableton device, CC control, and then pitch bend is here. So you can automate it and see it, you know, at the bottom of the screen and also in the automation lanes. Very handy. What else was happening here? This is side chain. This bottom bit is the low end, which is always getting side chained to the kick. But then the top end doesn't have as much. You see, this is only 77% at this point. And then that does actually change throughout the track, depending on, yeah, if it's a drop or a breakdown. It's all just creative choices, really. Can't remember why I did it now, but it sounded all right at the time. Couple of Trackspacer. This is basically like a sort of side chain thing. So this is side chain to the vocal, just so the vocal sort of kicks through a bit more on the drops. So it turns down that bass sound.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need.
And the vocal hits, and it's only on like 6.2%, so it's really subtle. Then there is also this Trackspacer is against, so it's like the dums, these dumb things, like dum ba dum dum dum, which has got, you know, sort of like low frequency going on. So when they hit, it just ducks out the sort of subby bass notes, subby bass frequencies of this bass in Serum, just so things don't build up too much in the low end. What else we got? Oh, this is adding a bit of width to this. I basically made my own little Ableton rack here for Ozone. Here is it over there? Ozone Imager. So I can move these things and, yeah, either increase or decrease the width of these bands. Let's turn it on and off, see what, if you can hear a difference. So that's more like straight down the middle, and then this will add width. But then, yeah, the sort of sub frequencies, they're not being widened. Keep them down the middle. A little bit of reverb. I actually really like just a sort of standard reverb, the RC20 reverb. So I've got this set up. I don't like to use sends on tracks. You'll see, if you know what Ableton looks like, there's no sends here. I like to put all my effects on each channel, on each track. So here I've got the original dry sound that's going straight through. But then here I've got this little utility, and that's mapped to this. So when that is up, it's sending some volume to RC20. So it's you're basically gonna get reverb. That's my send. If you listen here, there's the reverb coming in. And I really like the sound of the RC20 space reverb there. So there's your bass. We've got these little synthy bits on the drop.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need. Here.
Where else have we got them? Is it the same thing each time? These are just loops from Loop Cloud. There you go, it's the name of the loop if you want it. I've tuned it to the key of the tune, up 2 semitones, because it was in G minor, and this is in A minor, as I said. I just chopped it up a bit to what I wanted. This was the whole thing. I think this is from the same sample as well. Just little ear candy bits in it. Now we've got a bit of Gullfoss on this. We'll have a look at that. If you heard of Gullfoss, it's really nice plug-in this. I use it for mainly if there's a sound that doesn't have much fizz or sort of top end. You can really add it. Just go on and off, see what's happening here. You can see and hear that it gets rid of these middle bits and adds all fizzy stuff at the top. It's quite subtle on that one. That one's got no processor whatsoever there. Next one. Womp. I think that only happens like once in the tune or twice. This is another sample, I think. This is Splice sample. Wow. There you go. Now that Redux should be on. I did a trial run earlier and was messing around, and some things have been turned on and off, but this definitely should be on. Like Bit Crusher on there. Again, just adding a bit of fizz and makes it stand out in the mix. You maybe hear it in the mix. Sit off. It's really subtle. And here's my little RC20 reverb send again. EQ, just taking off a little. It's taking off quite a bit actually. Because the kick will be occupying that space. So we got rid of that. If you listen to, I don't know if you could hear that on phones, you probably won't, but that's what it's getting rid of. What's up next? What's this little thing here? Oh yeah, a little weird vocally bit, you could call it, I suppose. Another sample of something. Just picked the bits that I wanted. So it was in the key of C. So I've moved it up. What have I got there? 5. It's F, innit? Oh well, sounded alright. Don't always trust what key things are in from like Splice and all that. Sometimes when it has like C, it can just be like, you got like A, B, C, like A was the first variation of something, B is the second, C is the third. So it doesn't always relate to the key, but sometimes Splice or Loop Cloud, they think it does. So always use your ears as well. Let's see what processing I've got on this. That's a bit actually. This is good for just changing the formant or something. We just concentrate on that one. ShaperBox, this is doing a bit as well. Kind of cleaning it up really. That one would have just been whack ShaperBox on it, go through presets here. There's loads and loads of presets. Really like this thing for just making things go weird and like experimental, and yeah, just listen out for it and then bounce it down if you hear something good. Oh, a little bit of Gullfoss as well. It's doing quite a lot, this Gullfoss, again, making it, gonna use that word again, fizzy at the top. Vocal. Okay, well, let's go to the first one.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need. On the floor,
where's this from?
The rhythm's all you need.
Good old Splice. I've not heard it used before, so I thought I'll have it.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need.
OTT. What we're gonna do? Make it fizzy.
Floor, the rhythm's all you need. On the floor, the rhythm's all you need. On the floor, the rhythm's all you need.
ShaperBox, that'll just be doing sidechain, volume automation. This one, I use this later. This makes the vocal go a bit freaky. So let's have a look here. I bring it in. See this little automation there.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need. All you need. The rhythm's all you need.
Just this weird sort of freaky copy of the vocal underneath, just on the last drop to make it a bit different to the rest.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need.
Vocal echo effects thing that I would have recorded. So I would have taken the lead vocal and then sent it to the Ableton Echo and then just recorded it, add it on like 100% feedback, and then just recorded some of the effects, like changing bits. Turn up a bit. Especially this bit. gets more and more freaky. I'll show you how I did that. So I would have done echo on here, would have been on the main vocal. So if I just, again, I've made a little effects rack here, just with all my favorite things to automate. Like I said, I like to have send effects basically inside the track. Let me show you how I do it.
On the floor, the rhythm's all you need.
And just recording all this sort of stuff. Just record a big take of that and pick out the best bits. You make some nice build-ups and things. Then we're down to the rise, the last thing. Now this is made by, if you like these sort of tutorial videos, you might know Seed to Stage. He does some really good videos basically on Ableton Live. He knows loads of stuff. And he built this little chain. So it's a drift synthesizer. And he's mapped all these things and it basically creates risers. And if you hit random, it'll change all these things. Then you'll get a nice new riser. And it's great. So this is the one I had. If you hit random, it'll change these 7 things, but it'll keep that the same because I told it to exclude macro from randomization. Little tip there. So hit random. Random again. Little subtle variations, but you can get like unique build-ups. And he's done maybe 4 or 5 of these racks. So this one's drift. I think there's one that uses samples, maybe one that uses another synth, maybe more like white noise. So they're really good. Yeah, Seed to Stage. Go and check him out. Tell him I sent you. That's it. Then we're on the master. So let me get rid of this master because I had to delete a few things because it would have made my computer too slow. But I keep all my mastering chains for each tune. Let's whack it in it. So yeah, All You Need 06, that'll be down there. You go through them one by one. They're all on my other screen, so I'll have to drag them across. But yeah, Gullfoss. Don't always have Gullfoss on my master, to be honest. I mean, I told you a bit about it earlier, didn't I? Let's pick a bit in the tune where we can listen. Gullfoss is on. This will just be doing a little tickly, fizzy thing. Can't hear that much, can you? Volcano, this will just be doing a little boost there, 371 Hertz. Saturn 2, this is just a little tape emulation, setting really subtle, like 15%. You barely even hear it, to be honest. Utility is just boosting the signal before going into Ozone 9. This is doing a bit. Multiband dynamics. I mean, none of them are doing a hell of a lot. I usually have it, yeah, so the sub sitting around minus 4.1. You could copy them. I basically use them settings on every track. Imager, a little bit. Maximizer, I'll usually have this hitting, probably peaking at around -3. Then I have Inflator, just to bring the level up a bit more as well. I don't really know what Inflator does, but it sounds good. And another L2. That'll be on around -2. And a maximizer. That should be doing like, that should be off. This should be doing like -0.2. Obviously it's going to get louder. It's probably around, if I try and level match it a bit. So this should be matched to, this has been knocking on it. So you're probably not hearing much difference there when I level match it. When I master stuff, I'm not trying to change the whole sound. I'm just trying to catch peaks and get it as loud as possible, really. I'm not doing much else. That's what I think mastering really is, just getting it at a good level. If you need to change loads of stuff in the master, go back to the mix, get the sounds right. So there we go. That's it. That's the breakdown. Thanks for watching. All You Need by me, Friend Within, out now on A-Trak Friends. Nice one. Cheers.